Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Happy Friday morning, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here, live for our TV5 First Alert weather afternoon live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me as we take a look at some of the changes that have happened here over the last 24 hours with that snow chance that we've been keeping an eye out on for our Saturday. There has been some pretty big shifts within that system. Excuse me, over the last, again, 24 hours. So we'll start off really going through this pretty quick here. Looking outside right now, it is a really nice day. If you've been outside, temperatures have started to warm up. We're seeing clear, well, let's say mostly clear skies. There is some light, maybe light cloud cover wanting to hang around, but for the most part, it is sunny and it is warming up, and we'll continue to see those temperatures warming up here through the remainder of our afternoon. Like I said, reaching the 50s already across mid-Michigan. You do still have some lower 40s in there, and even a few 30s, Caseville at 39, Harbor Beach and Port Sanilac also at 39. But quickly as you move south, you're seeing those 50s in Saginaw, Midland, Mount Pleasant at 54, Owasso at 53, Flint at 52, with Lapeer at 52. So definitely looking on the warmer side right now. Again, Sky Tracker is calm, just showing those light clouds trying to move in and out for our 2 o'clock hour. That will continue to be the trend. We should stay dry through the remainder of the day. There has been a few hints of some lighter rain chances down to the south as we get past sunset. We'll see how that develops here over the next couple of hours, but I think for the most part, we are going to be dry for our Friday. That changes into Saturday. If you watched anything this morning, you have heard that there has been some changes, and that comes with that snow chance for tomorrow. So like I said, cloud cover does look to increase later into the day. We'll stay dry for most of Friday night, if not all of Friday night, into Saturday morning. It will be early into the afternoon. Now, there's still some questions about the exact timing of this system. I'll show off some of the other timings here. But for now, we're going to continue to hold on that a snow chance will arrive to mid-Michigan as early as 1 to 2 p.m., creating sort of a widespread area of snow as we get through 5, 6 p.m., later into our evening and through the night before moving out right around, I'd say, 3 to 4 a.m. Sunday morning. Again, this is a big shift north. So if you were watching yesterday or you watched last night into our newscast or maybe our evening live stream with TV5 Chief Meteorologist Chris Easlick, you did see that this was way farther south. It has moved north. It was mostly just into our southern counties, and now that heaviest snow is setting up in areas around the bay. So that is a pretty big change compared to what we had. It was something that was starting to develop this morning, but it's not like this on every model. There is still a lot of debate between the forecasting models. So I wanted to look through a few of them just to show you what we're looking at here at the TV5 First Alert Weather Team and what we're going to continue to look at as we get through the rest of our afternoon. So I wanted to just showcase a few of our forecasting models. So this is the model that is named the HRRR. It's one of our shorter term models. This is also the graph. It's another shorter term model that we use here at the TV5 First Alert Weather Team. So again, maybe that light rain chance to the south, but for the most part, we're dry for today. Again though, as we get into tomorrow, you can see this forecasting model doesn't have much. We'll actually zoom out just to show where it has that system. So this hour by hour has been a little bit farther south over the last couple of runs, and it's continued to show that system a little bit later into the day. So that's what we're battling here is one forecasting model has this system moving in around 2 right through the heart of mid-Michigan. Another forecasting model will have it a little bit farther south, but maybe towards Genesee and Shiawassee counties. And then we'll look at a third forecasting model here just to show you, hey, what we're looking at. This is the NAM 3-kilometer forecasting model, and it is showing a very similar timing to that first model I showed you. So right around 2 to 3 p.m., the snow chance arriving into mid-Michigan and then moving east as we get through our afternoon and into our evening. The one difference with this model, it's a little bit farther south. This is sort of in between the other two models that I showed you. That first model was north of the bay. That second model was down towards the Indiana and Ohio border. And this forecasting model, it is showing you right around sort of that corridor of Shiawassee, Genesee, and Lapeer counties, but getting snow across most of mid-Michigan. So we're just trying to figure out what this system is holding for us. I do think anticipate snow chances unless we do get a southerly shift here over the next couple of hours. In terms of snowfall potential, luckily it's not the sort of highest amounts that we've seen all winter. It's 1 to 3 inches for a majority of mid-Michigan. It's in that trace to 2 down to the south. But I think, again, we're going to have to see how this sets up as we get the next few model runs. And I will say forecasting models, they come out at different times. Some of them are every 6 hours, some of them are every 12 hours, a few of them are every hour or every 2 hours. So we're just going to have to keep watching the data as we get through the next really 24 hours just to have a good idea of what this system is holding. But I think for now, we're going to continue to hold on to that 1 to 3 inch mark for a majority of mid-Michigan, looking in that trace to 2 down to the south. But you're going to want to tune in through the rest of the afternoon if you're someone that has plans for Saturday afternoon into Saturday night, because this is definitely going to change as we get more data, as we get a better idea of this system, as some of the sensors and some more balloon launches happen. We'll get a better reading of this system as we get through the next, I'd say 12 hours even, of what we're going to see. Now, what has changed for this system? Again, it's location, it's timing. We've seen a little bit of a shift north, and we've seen it arriving a little bit earlier. Because of that change, amounts have gone up maybe a little bit higher than what we had yesterday. Again, if you watched the stream yesterday and you watched any of our newscasts into the afternoon, we have seen some of that change with that northerly push and that timing a little bit earlier. So again, just going to have to keep updates through the rest of our afternoon into our evening and into tomorrow as that snow chance looks to move in. I think for many of us, you're hoping for that southerly shift. I know I saw a lot of people on Facebook on some of our posts saying, I hope it shifts south again. I think that's what we're going to have to watch out for when it comes to the next forecasting model runs. But I'll get back to what we're seeing right now because it is a really nice Friday. Temperatures up into the 50s, especially as you move south of the bay and then out towards 127. You do still get a few 30s and 40s there. Tawas City at 33, Caseville at 39, Bad Axe at 44, Lapeer at 52, Gladwin and Standish both at 41 right now. And as we get through the rest of our afternoon, temperatures are going to stay in the 50s. High temperatures, I should say, will stay in the area through about 5 to 6 p.m. Then we'll get sunset, and temperatures will start to drop as we get through tonight. We'll be back into the 20s and 30s for our lows tonight into tomorrow morning. In terms of our wind, this is something we were keeping an eye out on. Winds were anticipated to pick up today, and we're starting to see that trend already. It's wind from the south-southwest at 10 to, we'll say 5 to 15 miles per hour right now. Wind gusts are up to 25 to 30. So Saginaw has wind gusts up to 20. Mount Pleasant, Flint at 22. West Branch at 17. Owasso at 17 miles per hour. So it is going to continue to get breezy. We'll see a breezy evening and afternoon. That's just something that we just have to fight off just a little bit. Should calm down a little bit as we get into our weekend, but obviously we add that snow chance on top of that calming wind trend. Now let's take a look at your weekend. Just before I take a break here, our weekend planner shows Saturday, dry in the morning, temperatures in the 20s. Temperatures get up into the 30s, but by about 2 to 3 p.m., we start to see that snow chance arrive, and that snow chance will stick around through Saturday evening into Saturday night. And then as we get into Sunday, it's a dry day, temperatures in the 20s, but you do get some sunshine there. So just looking to be a better day, but a cooler day for our Sunday. But with that, I do have to take a break right now. Once I come back from that break, we're going to be looking at temperatures as we get through the weekend. We'll be looking at wind gust. We'll be looking at that snow chance once again. So you're going to want to stay right here. Well, welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here, live for the second half of our Friday afternoon First Alert Weather live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me here through the first half. Hopefully you stick around for the second half. If you have any questions, head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News. There, if you have any questions about the snow chances or just about the weather in general, I'll try to answer them as we get through the rest of our stream. I do apologize if I miss your chat. I don't always get the chance to look over there as we get through the stream, but I do try my best to peek over there. Let's look at our lows for tonight. Our wind will start to shift from the south, being out of the north-northwest. And with that shift, we'll start to see colder air filter into mid-Michigan, bringing us back into the teens and 20s, a little warmer down to the south areas like Owasso, Lapeer, and Flint, even Saginaw, Bay City, all at 25, 26, and 27. We will see some teen temperatures pop up to the north, Holton Lake, West Branch, and then areas as you move closer to the bay, getting back into the teens and lower 20s. Now, as we get through our Saturday, that warm air that we have today, well, it doesn't really last. Again, our wind is going to shift to be out of the north-northwest, and that's what's going to help us drop back into the 20s and 30s through the majority, if not all of our Saturday. Again, a similar pattern to what we've been seeing, where it's just a little bit warmer as you move down to the south with areas along I-69 at the mid-30s at 35, 36 degrees, moving north, cooling down into the lower 30s, and then the mid to upper 20s. And then as we get into Sunday, we just continue to hold on to that colder air, again with that northwest wind and some of that air following this system for Saturday, keeping us in the 20s for a majority of mid-Michigan. Not going to count out a few teens as you get up towards Huron County, Bad Axe, Port Hope, Port Austin, Caseville, those cities being at 18, 19, and even reaching the 20s as we get through our Sunday. But if you've been online, you've probably been hearing, hey, there's a little bit of a warm-up on the way. The Climate Prediction Center has been highlighting this as well. It's not going to be much for the start of the week. Monday and Tuesday, still sitting just at or below average or just above average. That warm-up starts to show up for Wednesday, back into the 40s. Then by the end of the week, it's upper 40s, and it looks like we're going to start to hold on to more 50s and getting closer to the 60s as we get through next weekend into a week after that. So there's continued to be this trend of above average temperatures as we get through at least the first week, maybe week and a half / 2 weeks of March. So if you're someone that is looking for that warmer weather, you get it for the start or as we get into spring and approach a calendar spring here over the next couple of weeks. Now, in terms of our wind gust as we get through our weekend, like I mentioned before the break, wind is going to increase as we get through the remainder of our afternoon. By about 10 to 11 p.m., we're going to see our peak wind gusts, again from the south-southwest at 20 to 40 miles per hour. A little bit stronger out there in areas like Lapeer, Sandusky, Bad Axe, but it's not by much. Most of mid-Michigan is going to be windy. This does look to calm down, though, as we're waking up Saturday morning. This is 9 a.m. on Saturday. The one big change that we see is that direction. It's a northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour, staying on the calmer side through our Saturday afternoon, our Saturday evening, and then calming down even more as we get through Sunday. So that's a good trend. Even though we're getting more snow chances, we're trending a little bit lighter with the wind. So blowing snow, maybe not as much of a concern as maybe it's been over the last few snow systems that we've had as we got through January and through the start of February. Now, I did want to take a look at our snow chance once again. If you've been watching throughout much of our morning into the last 24 hours, you've probably been hearing about some changes within the system. So what has changed throughout the day? I think the big thing that has changed is location and timing. This system has shown signs it wants to shift north and arrive a little bit earlier. So we'll see how this develops. But I think with that, we've also seen some totals starting to sort of go up just a little bit. It's nothing extreme when it comes to snow, especially here in Michigan, but I think it's enough that you'll notice it, and you may run into some slick roads, some slowdowns as we get through Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. So let's look at our hour by hour. This is one of those middle ground forecasting hour by hour. So this is not as far north as maybe what some models have it, but it's not as far south. I wanted to pick the middle ground just to show you what some of these models could have. So I think for timing purposes, I think a good timing right now is 2 to 3 p.m. This may shift a little bit later. I don't think it will come any earlier than what we're seeing, but be prepared by 2 to 3 p.m. to see some snow chances. If it comes a little bit later, I think that's a good thing for anyone because if it comes a little bit later, it could be a little bit farther south. As we get through our afternoon, though, that snow chance does continue. Our heaviest snow looks to be from areas around the bay down towards the I-69 corridor. If we can continue to see that track that is a little bit farther north. So if you live in those areas, I think that's going to be the locations that we could run into some slow traffic, some slick roads as we get through Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. Through Saturday night, it's going to be by about 4 to 5 a.m. that a majority of that snow chance will be gone and will actually be dry as we get into Sunday afternoon. See that sun peek out just a few times as we get through our Sunday. And then we get to our snowfall total map. Like I mentioned before, I think this is going to change here over the next 2, 3, 4 hours. So if you're looking for more updates, you're going to want to tune in to our newscast at 4, 5, 5:30, and 6. You're also going to want to tune in to our evening live stream where TV5 Chief Meteorologist Chris Easlick will have more because there's going to be more updates of our models. We'll have a better idea, I think, as that system develops out west of us in the Dakotas of how it may develop. We'll get another balloon launch from the National Weather Services to our west here through this afternoon and evening. So that will help the models perform maybe just a little bit better. They can have a better reading of the atmosphere as we get through the next couple of hours. But for now, our snowfall potential continues to hold 1 to 3 inches. So that is a change from yesterday. With that northerly shift, we're seeing 1 to 3 inches for much of Michigan. As you move down to the south, you'll get traced to 2. But like I mentioned before, I think this is going to shift north or south just based on how this system sets up here over the next 24 hours. So you're going to want to tune in to the TV5 First Alert Weather Team just for more updates, especially if you have travel plans. I don't think it's anything extreme, but it's definitely enough that you could have some slowdowns. You could just have to deal with some snowfall for our Saturday into our Saturday night and even early Sunday morning. Now, I did want to look at a long-term is just to see what we're looking at beyond Saturday and Sunday. So Monday looks to be a dry day. There was a system that wanted to move in late Monday into Tuesday, and actually even the latest forecasting model run has now shifted this back north. So as you can see, there is just going to be a lot of change within the atmosphere here over the next couple of days. But we're going to continue to hold on. There looks to be a rain-snow mix possible for Tuesday. We'll see how things do set up as we get to that system. Wednesday will be dry, actually get some sunny skies there. And then Thursday is now holding another chance of rain. Looks like we're going to be a little bit warmer there. So we'll see how that develops. Maybe earlier in the morning seeing some ice. But again, it is a long ways away. Things are going to change between now and then. We just want to highlight that there is that chance of rain and snow on Tuesday and then rain on Thursday. Now looking at our 7-day forecast before I end the stream, it is 50s for today, 30s and 20s as we get through our weekend into Monday. Again, having that snow chance for Saturday afternoon. We're going to be back into the 40s for Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is going to be very close. I think we will see some 40s there. But Tuesday looks to be our next chances of rain and snow. And then Thursday looks to be a rain chance. I think could see some ice mixing into that early in the day just based on the timing of those two systems. But with that, I don't see any more questions over in our chat. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. Like I said earlier, just before we looked at our 7-day, make sure you tune in to our newscast at 4, 5, 5:30, and 6. You can also tune in to our Friday evening First Alert Weather live stream with TV5 Chief Meteorologist Chris Easlick for more updates on that snow chance for tomorrow. You can also head over to our website at WNEM TV5 WNEM.com. There you can go to our weather tab where we'll have more updates through the rest of our Friday afternoon and evening. You can also scan that QR code that's right below me. That will send you over to the App Store or the Google Play stores where you can download the TV5 First Alert weather app, where we'll get more updates out on that app through the rest of today. But otherwise, enjoy a pretty nice Friday here with temperatures in the 50s. Enjoy your Friday afternoon and your Friday evening, and stay warm and stay dry as we get through the remainder of our weekend.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.